Alrighty, here we go again. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Body Mind Fitnesses. I woke up like this. I was messing around with my logo this morning because I'm trying to find the right spot, because since I've been doing this, I realized that I wear a lot of dark clothing. My desk is in a darker space when it's still dark outside, and it just wasn't, even now I'm like putting my dark hair into my logo. Anyways, here this morning to talk to you about why you might be hitting plateaus or not seeing the results that you are looking for. So the latest fitness craze has come out. We won't mention any names because I don't throw people under the bus. And I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with them anyway. So we'll just refer to it as the latest fitness craze. And this can go for any year, not just particularly right now. So the latest fitness craze comes out. All your friends are doing it. It's fun. It's exciting. They're seeing their results. Everybody's like pumped about it. And then you start going and it's not your jam. And it might not be your jam for a few reasons. Maybe you go once and it just doesn't feel good in your body. Maybe you've been going for a little while and you're not seeing the results. And this could come down to a simple fact that perhaps your goals are different than your friends' goals. And there's nothing wrong with that. They're your goals. So let's break that down a little bit. So first and foremost, there is an enjoyment factor. I really do believe more and more that you need to go out there and find something that you enjoy doing that doesn't take too much effort to convince yourself that it's a good idea to go to this class, this session, into the gym, into your basement with some fitness equipment, whatever it is, to get it done. If you're really shying away from it, then you gotta start maybe rethinking it a little bit. So that's the first and foremost thing. There's not much more to break down about it. I talk a lot about how you really need to do what you enjoy doing. But when I work with clients, personal training clients, we do a slightly different approach than you might do if you were going at it solo or going to the same type of class over and over again. And we actually do three different types of phases that when you put them all together, one individually might not seem like it's part of your goal, but when you put them all together, they actually feed off of each other, which is kind of awesome. So there is the build phase, the burn phase, and the strength phase, or the power phase. And the burn phase is kind of what you see a lot in your group fitness classes: low weights, high repetitions, very little breaks. And this is specifically for anything that is involving weight training. You burn calories and things like step classes as well, but we're talking about weights and hands here. So, very basic. So when you do this in a traditional setting, like when I start off with clients, there's different ways to incorporate a burn phase, as many repetitions as you can, and such. But when I get started with somebody brand new, we focus on 15 to 20 repetitions with 30 seconds of break. And oftentimes this will either be a circuit training or a circuit phase, or something along those lines, just to get you going. So there you have that. That's the burn phase. And we don't start with that phase, so don't worry if you were thinking about jumping into personal training and you're worried like 15 to 20 repetitions and we're doing circuits and I've never worked out before. That's crazy. Exactly. So we would never start off like that. The next one would be so this one would actually be the first phase after a foundational phase, is the build phase, which is adding muscle. So this is your traditional, if you've ever been to a gym setting or read an article out of a magazine where they mention 8 to 12 repetitions, this is sort of the phase we're looking at here. 1 minute of break. So you do an exercise, and when people get started, we typically just do one exercise at a time, give that 1 minute break, and then tackle that same exercise again for 3 to 4 sets. And then we move on. So usually we try to incorporate all the foundational movements: squats, lunges, hinges, twists, push-pulls, and then some core work in there as well. So that is your build phase. Now the strength power phase is the one that gets very scientific, and oftentimes, especially because I focus on training women, this is one that women tend to get a little bit concerned with. They're worried about it packing on muscle. So we do higher weight for 1 to 6 repetitions with 2 minutes. That's right. I said it, 2 minutes of rest. And oftentimes the first few times through, people are like, why am I sitting here doing nothing after 6 repetitions when I just came off of 15 to 20 repetitions? And there is a method to the madness. And I don't want to get too scientific because it could go kind of over your head. But essentially we have muscle fibers that contract when we are using the muscle. And when we are exercising, we break down the muscle essentially, so the muscle fibers, and the body goes, I don't want to hurt like that again, so I'm gonna repair these muscle fibers and make them stronger. And on top of that, especially as we age, muscle fibers can become dormant when we don't use them. So you can never increase the amount of muscle fibers you have. You are born with a certain amount of muscle fibers. You will always have that same amount of muscle fibers. But what you can do is increase the size and reawaken the dormant ones. And that's what starts to happen in this 2-minute phase. So we work with those heavier weights. So it kind of goes, hey guys, time for you to get working. Let's go. And then they kind of do their thing. And what happens is then when we go back to the build phase, if we did the same program that we did the last time, you're going to see huge gains from that first time because now you have more muscle fibers, stronger muscle fibers, helping you to lift the weights for those 8 to 12 repetitions once again. So that's a little bit of a breakdown on that. That's like my Cole's Notes version of that. So yeah, like basically whenever you end up working with me specifically, I can't speak to all personal trainers, but I know I didn't create this. So there are other personal trainers, including, the one I work with who actually taught me the importance of doing this. After your free goal and mobility assessment, I come back to you with your exercise prescription. So this is basically a layout of your entire year of exercises, an entire year, not broken down by the exercises because we're going to learn this about each other as we go, what you like, what you don't like, why we might do certain things, seeing if at that point it might turn into a like. And then I basically break down the phases for you so you have a general idea of where we're going over the course of the next year. So that's kind of a big deal because you can stick that on your fridge and be like, cool, I'm going into burn phase this week if that's your jam. But trust me when I say strength of power kind of becomes a favorite. You end up leaving energized as opposed to exhausted, which kind of is important sometimes at certain points in our lives, right? So all of that to say, currently I do have just three open spots for personal training for new clients. So if you're interested, make sure you head on over to the website and book your free goal and mobility assessment and see if we mesh, see how that goes. Check out your goals, check out where you are today, and then we can start working towards those goals. And trust me when I say working these phases, even if one seems inherently like it is not contributing whatsoever to your goal, trust me when I say that this is a super beneficial way to get your workouts done. And yeah, you're going to love it. Once you get the hang of it, there's something really empowering about some of these phases as well, and things you'll discover that you may have never discovered before. So again, that's 3 open spaces. Nice. My computer just adjusted the lighting in here. So that's 3 open spaces for personal training. Currently, I only take a limited amount of people currently because I want to make sure that you are getting the time and attention that you deserve. There are also packages associated with personal training, which we can discuss further at your goal and mobility assessment. And yeah, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, if there is something you would like to see on I Woke Up Like This, then make sure to send me a message or post in the comments. And if any of this resonated with you at all, if you got anything from this at all, in fact, the thing you got the most from this, feel free to post it in the comments. Post a little emoji, let me know what you think, and I look forward to talking to you next Monday. So thanks so much for tuning in, and I will talk talk to you soon. Later.